Hello, I'm Marino from Alpha M Consulting. Now, if you've been paying attention, you have probably noticed that men's neckties have been getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Well, this is affectionately known as a trend. Now, some of you see a trend and hop on it faster than an Italian to a wife beater. To my foreign viewers, this white tank top or undershirt is also known as a wife beater. And really, it's the perfect versatile shirt. You can dress it down with a pair of cargo shorts and flip-flops, or dress it up with a great tie and a sassy sport coat. And with any trend that comes, it also will go at some point. However, that doesn't matter. Today I wanted to take some time and discuss the quintessential male style staple that is the necktie. Today, gentlemen, we're talking about ties. Now, other than a set of testicles, nothing screams dude louder than a necktie. Think about it. All of the style items that we have as men, females have their version. Suits, yeah, chicks got them. Dress shirts, women have them. Stylistically a little bit different, but they have them. Shoes, jeans, pants, you name it, there is a female version, but not the necktie. And because I was that annoying little kid who always asked his mother why, I decided to do a little research and digging to find out where and why we as men have adopted this unique style accessory that is constantly evolving, yet effortlessly timeless. Alright, by a show of hands, who out there has ever heard of a cravat? Don't feel bad, because neither had Alpha. Well, apparently, all neckties are a descendant of this 17th century accessory. A cravat is a fabric neckband first introduced by Croatian soldiers in the 17th century. Well, apparently others saw these Croatian trendsetters and thought, damn bro, that looks killer. And so, by the 1800s, people were wearing the cravat all over the place. People started experimenting with different ways to tie their cravat. So much so, books were published about different ways and options for tying the cravat. Most notably was a book called the Necktie. I'm not even lying to you, bro. That is absolutely the name. Look it up if you don't believe me. Wikipedia, I promise. Anyway, this book was packed full of 14 essential ways to tie the cravat. Well, by around 1850, people were starting to be like, yo, cravats, that was so like King James VII. I am moving on. And so people started experimenting and wearing scarves and handkerchiefs held in place by a little scarf ring. But then, something interesting happened. Around 1900, I guess somebody was like smoking a little too much something, or drink, whatever, and they tied it into a bow. Thus, the bow tie was born. And later came the ascot. But by 1920, some creative style fashion somebody created the long necktie. And really, it hasn't changed much since. And that in a nutshell is how we came to have the necktie. The evolution according to Alpha. So I would like to say thank you, Mr. Croatian Army guy. From your great invention, we now have the ascot, the bow tie, the always sexy bolo, the clip-on. Aw man, do I have to? Alpha's gonna kill me. And you have the standard long tie that most of us are familiar with. And this is really what we're going to talk about and focus on today. Now, materials that ties are made out of. You have wool, you have silk, you have polyester, and you have satin. Now, in my opinion, you really can't go wrong with a silk tie. It's timeless, it's classic, you can wear it any season. Now, you have silk ties, but then you also have satin ties. Satin is not actually a fabric, it's actually the finish of the fabric. So, you can find satin finished ties like silk. You also find them in polyester like this one, and nylon. The downside to a satin finish is that any little pick or nick on this tie pretty much is going to render it useless because you can see it from a mile away. Polyester is a synthetic petroleum-based fabric. Now, the good news, they can actually make petroleum-based products feel and look a whole lot like silk. The other upside is it's actually going to be half the price. The other positive about polyester, for those messy eaters, it actually repels water. It's like waterproof, but there are some downsides to polyester. One being that it traps and holds odor. So, if you go into a smoky bar, you come out, your tie is going to stink like smoke long after you've left. Also, spray cologne on your neck, guess what? Change colognes, that tie is still going to smell like your old cologne. The other downside to polyester, I guess, is that it actually can melt. So it would not be the appropriate neckwear if you were going to attend a bonfire or if you were going to the place that some of you say that I am going to hell. And for those of you joining me in hell, I would not recommend you pack your ties made out of wool. I would reserve these for the cooler months, like fall and winter. But that being said, there are really only two types or styles of long neckties. You've got your standard tie like this, but you also have the knitted tie. Knit ties come in a variety of different colors, patterns, and widths. And while we're talking about widths, now would be the appropriate time for us to discuss what is happening with standard ties and their width. You've got skinny, slim, standard, wide. What the f is going on with ties today? I don't know when to wear what and what's appropriate. Relax, amigo. Alpha, under control, got it covered. Let's discuss tie width. Alright, your standard tie width is between 3.5 and 3.75 inches in centimeters, 9 centimeters to 9.5 centimeters. You know what? It will be easier to show you. As you can see, we have three different tie widths here. The first one is going to be the widest, and this is going to be the widest standard tie you're pretty much going to be able to find. It's 3.75 inches. Next is going to be the more common width, which is 3.5. This is going to be more standard and what you're going to find and see most often. But you do have ties that are under 3 inches. And whenever you get under 3 inches, like this last tie, 2.5 right there, this is actually going to be considered a slim tie. And if you have a tie that is 2 inches wide, this is going to be known as a skinny tie. Now let's talk about what size tie to actually wear with your suit or sport coat. And I see guys doing this wrong all the time. Alright, here it is. Simple rule. Match the width of your tie to the width of your lapel. So, give you an example. Perfect situation. My lapel, if you measure it, is about, what is that? Around 3 inches? Okay. The tie that I'm wearing is right at 3 inches. So what does that mean? It balances, it matches. If I would go a super wide tie with this jacket, with this lapel, it would look a little bit out of place. And on the other hand, if I go with a super skinny tie with lapels this wide, 3 inches, because lapels come smaller, it would look out of place as well. If you stick to this rule and just match your lapel size to your tie size, you will always be looking stylish and fresh. But could it be that simple, Alpha? Yes, it's that simple. Why's it gotta be all complicated and stuff? Just simply match the width of your tie to your lapel. Now, can you go wider than your lapel? Could I wear a standard size tie with this sport coat? Yes, I could. Would it look as good as aesthetically balanced? Probably not. But now, if I had a wider lapel on and I went with a slim tie, would it look as good? No, probably not. I would want a larger tie. So guys, it's all about balance in everything we do. It's yin and yang, stylistically. Speaking of course, as far as skinny ties, or not skinny, yeah, skinny ties are really so, I think they work for like certain like demographic, I'm not really a big fan, but it's just my oldness coming out. My oldness. I better go and wrap this up before I break a hip. Gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure being with you today. And to tie this in perfectly to my sponsor, Modern Tailor, there's a link below and a code. The code is Alpha M. We're not changing it. We're not going Alpha M May or June. Alpha M, here on out, 10% off. You need to wear a fitted or tailored shirt if you're going to be wearing a slim tie, because it just would look out of balance like we talked about if you went with a slim tie and a big baggy shirt. Guys, get a shirt that fits your body. It's going to do wonders to your overall appearance. You're going to be amazed at how great you look. Shoulders broad, waist small, everything's working. Also, speaking of working, if you want to work with me, you can order a style system and I will work with you personally. With each purchase, you get a month subscription to I Am Alpha M. You also get a personal email that I can actually work with you directly and help you analyze and build your perfect wardrobe. So gentlemen, I hope you have a great week and I'll talk to you soon.